Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have founder and CEO of 787 Coffee and Los Tacos, New York City, Brandon Pena. Brandon is CEO of 787 Coffee. He is a pioneer in social media marketing, listed by Forbes as one of the next upstart entrepreneurs, by Inc. magazine as one of the fastest growing companies in America, and by Yahoo Finance as one of the top 10 entrepreneurs. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest coming onto the show today, Brandon Pena. This guy is everywhere, true success, 15 coffee shops, and I am a big coffee fan, so I'm really looking forward to a great conversation today. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also streaming on MSPNewsGlobal.com. We're also on the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku TV, and many more. And we're also on Business Innovators Radio Network. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Brandon Pena. Brandon, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
It's an honor to be here, Mark. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today. I want to pick your brains. I see you all over social media in all the top publications, which I'm really passionate about. I know you're really passionate about your coffee shops. You have 15 now. I want you to take us back a little bit, Brandon. Tell us a little bit about your past and background that has led you into your journey into entrepreneurship.
Very cool. Well, thank you. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a human that loves coffee, that enjoys connecting with humans. That's basically what makes me the human that I am today. I come from El Paso, Texas, border with Mexico, Mexican background, a single mother that worked really, really hard her whole life. And she taught me the basic principles of being nice to people, working hard, and making shit happen, basically, Mark. And that's those are my roots. That's where I come from, not depending on any sort of government, not depending on any human, but making it for yourself, working hard, and impacting the lives of many. I'm passionate for creativity. I consider myself a very creative human. I started creating concepts. I started taking photos, videos. Back in the day, it was called TV, so people cared about ratings, and that's what I did. Worked for a TV station. That was one of my first jobs, and I created content. Things have evolved since then. Now we're more into social media. Now we call them likes and follow and engagement, but it's ultimately the same thing. So my first job was creating content for a TV station, working with artists, and developing strategies to grow and increase our ratings. And then one day, someone very special told me, focus your energy where people are focusing their attention. And I started realizing people were going more and more into MySpace, a platform back in the day. People were spending a lot of time creating their own profile, building walls, and putting music in the background. And I'm like, I need to start learning how to do this, take better photos, make more videos in a smaller format. So it's not for TV. It's for mobile and desktop, and that's what made me very special. I did it at the right time. I was approached by a small company back then called Facebook, and Facebook invited me to be a part of their strategy for the Latin community. I started traveling through every Spanish-speaking country representing Facebook. I would go to California, learn from Facebook, and then develop strategies in Spanish for most of the Latin communities. I also went to Japan. I also went to Brazil, and they named me in 2011 a Facebook star, which meant I was generating more engagement than 99.9% of the companies that were out there. Not me as in Brandon, but me as in the human representing multiple brands. So I was behind the scenes, never did really anything for myself. I really didn't care for the personal branding. I was focused on generating value to the people that hired me or the people that Facebook referred me to so that I could generate value for them. How did I generate value? The one thing that I noticed, it's engagement plus emotions plus content equals engagement. So if we generated value to the consumer through emotions, they would definitely like and connect with our brand and our values and our content. And that generated a lot of engagement. I'll give you a perfect example. I was working with a university. We took a really cool photo of a daughter getting her certificate, giving it to her mother, and her mother was tearing. And by using that photo, we increased engagement and enrollment with that university in particular. So it's the image of success. It's the image of I'm doing it for you, mother, and the mother showing a lot of emotion through her tears. And that's the type of engagement we were generating for Facebook back in the day. I opened my advertising agency. It went very, very well. And then was looking for something to invest in, and coffee seemed like the perfect way to go.
That's a great CV and journey, Brandon. And I like your values, treating people well and treating people nice. Sometimes in business, people forget to be nice. Not everyone, but I think you do stand out from the crowd if you have got good values and you are a good person in business. And also what you're sharing about social media, sharing some emotion, that's just made me think I could add a little bit more emotion into some of the posts I'm writing, and I know that is how people connect with you. So that's a great tip there. So you opened your first coffee shop, 787 Coffee. You have 15 now. Tell us a little bit about opening your first shop, how that went, and then how did you go on to scale it to 15 shops?
It's been a journey. It's been a caffeinated journey, Mark.
Well, I love
we
coffee, so that
it's
sounds fun.
well, we understood that we are consuming more coffee than ever, and we are producing less coffee than ever worldwide. So it only seemed like the right investment. And then we invested in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a small island, the Caribbean, and it's part of the US. So what makes us really, really special, 787 is actually the area code of Puerto Rico. And what makes us really special is that in the US, the coffee that we consume, 99% of the coffee we consume here in America comes from Colombia, Brazil, or Vietnam. So only Hawaii and Puerto Rico in the US produce coffee in the US. So by having coffee produced in the US, consumed in the US, not imported, um, it's a very nice differentiator. So people are actually having a fresher cup of coffee because it's actually produced in the country where they're actually consuming the coffee. So that makes us very different. And we found that to be a very interesting approach, but we also saw a lot of new challenges we had to face. For example, labor. Colombia, Brazil, they pay a lot less than what we have to pay in Puerto Rico because it's part of the US. So our federal minimum wage, it's way higher than any other country that produces coffee. So the only way we could find to create a profitable business was to create a vertical business. So we bought the farm in the US, Puerto Rico, and produce a vertical line where we actually sell our beans directly in our coffee shops. If we would have sold it to someone else, to a roaster, it probably wouldn't have chosen Puerto Rican coffee because it's way more expensive than Colombian or Brazilian coffee. So that was the first determining factor that said, let's go into coffee. Let's learn coffee. Let's learn coffee very well. Let's travel to every single origin of coffee. So I've traveled basically from Rwanda in Africa all the way to Guatemala to understand every single concept, and everything that I found to be eco-friendly or sustainable, we brought over to Puerto Rico to try to apply those methods into the farm and try to take care of the forest and everything, living creatures that live in the farm.
I drink about 7 to 8 cups of coffee a day. I just love the stuff. I do drink water in between, but I'm not giving coffee up. That's one thing
Please
I
don't, Mark.
refuse not to give up. So tell us, because obviously you opened the first one, how did you then go on to getting 15? Was that an easy process? I'm guessing you did it step by step. Talk us
Yes.
through that a
So
little bit.
we opened 4 coffee shops in 2017. It was going phenomenal. We had a great story. We had a great product. We didn't have a lot of cash, but we started very small. We opening pop-ups, which is basically a store within a store in New York City, and they were going well. People were coming to the markets. People were getting to know more and more of our story and our brand. And then something happened in Puerto Rico in 2017, September 2017. We got hit by the largest hurricane that has hit Puerto Rico in 100 years. It's called Hurricane Maria. It came to the farm. It destroyed 97% of our plantation. We were left with no coffee. So we had to close every single coffee shop in
Wow.
2017. So a few months after opening, getting our brand there, we had to close everything. We lost all the investment we had made. We there was a lot of uncertainty on what was the future of 787, and that's where we basically shifted who we were as a company to becoming more human. I was ready to step out of the coffee world in 2017 September. I want to say October. It's the moment where I said, I don't know if I can do this anymore. But a lot of our coworkers were based out of Maricao, which is a very small town, an hour and a half from the capital of Puerto Rico. And every single farmer, our friends, our coworkers were calling and saying, when are you guys coming back? There's no jobs. So when are we starting again? And getting those phone calls really made me understand how it's not just about the profits we make, but the community we're building. Even though I had no money in my bank account, even though I had lost all of my savings and my 401 and my retirement, I was still the hero, and I was still the guy, the strong guy that knew what he was doing, quote unquote. And when I'm getting all these phone calls, like, when are we starting? And they're looking for guidance. They're looking for you as the savior of or creating opportunities. That's when you realize what's really worth it in the job and what you're doing. And then we decided to reinvest, reopen, and then November 2018, we reopened our first coffee shop in New York City in the East Village on 7th Street, a very small location, Mark, 350 square feet. It's a very small, very cute, with a lot of personality. And we started servicing that community, people that lived in the area, young artists, the true definition of New York City, diverse, with dreams, with ambition, hungry for growth in every single aspect, spiritual. Some of the greatest acts of kindness I've seen in my life happen in that shop. And seeing the success and how many people were coming and how many people were actually appreciating and trying to support the local, not going to a big chain, but trying to support the local coffee shop, allowed us to go to a second and a third and a fourth. And within 3 years, we've been able to grow 870% than back in 2019.
Thank you for sharing that, Brandon, because people may see you on social media and you're doing well, you're doing great, you're successful. And it's important you share that, because it just goes to show you can lose everything, but you can get it all back again. If you just have that determination and drive, you can get it all back. And I really appreciate you sharing some of those vulnerabilities that you have been through. And wow, so in the last 3 or 4 years, you've literally opened 15 coffee shops.
Yes. So we currently have 14 coffee shops open in New York City, 2 more under construction, 2 more under contract, and 2 in Puerto Rico open, and 1 in construction. So it's going to be, by the end of this 2022, we should be at 25, 30 coffee shops open. We have an amazing group of humans working. It's my coworkers are definitely the best humans in the world. Right now, we have a beautiful sign outside of every store that says some of the coolest humans of New York City work here. And that's not just an advertising or a sign, it's how we truly feel. I've never seen someone on vacation enjoying the beach of Cancun and replying to every single message we put on our WhatsApp group. I've never seen someone going to sleep and still responding and messaging. So I truly believe that the humans that are around the brand are so passionate for what we do. They belong. They are the brand. They are the logo. They are the humans that are making this growth possible.
And coffee shops, they're nice places to be. They're great environments because you go there either to meet friends, family, to do bits of work, to chill out. So I can imagine it's a really great environment to work as well. Tell us a little bit, Brandon, about Los Tacos as well.
Los Tacos is it's part of the 787 coffee umbrella. It's a consequence of 787. We've been able to do one of the best things in business, which is distribution. We've really come to terms on what makes the business successful, and that's delivering products from point A to point B to point C fast, effectively, with little waste. And since we understand distribution very well, it only made sense to open more businesses that work under the 787 coffee umbrella. And Los Tacos came around because of my Mexican background. It's the recipe of my grandma. I wanted to represent that part of me. I'm very, very, very passionate about travel and cultures. I'm very, very, very passionate about coffee, and I'm very, very, very passionate about food. And my favorite food is tacos. It's a beautiful hug around a tortilla, and we make wonderful and delicious stews with fresh ingredients. We make them, we wrap them with a tortilla that it's freshly made, handmade, and you get to enjoy that wonderful moment and that explosion of flavors in your mouth. So we had a coffee shop, the first coffee shop that I was talking about, the one on 7th Street. Space became available, and then we were like, what do we do? Let's take over the space. Let's open Los Tacos. It's time to open Los Tacos NYC. We did. It's been tremendous. It's been great. We've learned so much. And then we opened another one in the financial district in Wall Street, also next to a 787 coffee. And we took 2 spaces in Puerto Rico as well to take Los Tacos over to Puerto Rico. So very soon it'll be for Los Tacos. It's once you understand that everything you do is for humans, by humans, for humans, business becomes such an easy transaction.
You're making me hungry. I know where I'm coming when I'm in New York. So I'm
Yes,
coming for
please.
great coffee and some tacos as well. Brandon, we
Definitely.
just need to go to a commercial break, so please stay where you are. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for part 1 of Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Did you know you can lose everything and get it all back again? Brandon is living proof of this. Stay tuned for part 2.
Hello everybody, Cyberchuck 2.0 here. I'm so excited to be able to share my vision of Dreamweavers Artist Ranch. They say you can't choose your family. Not only am I saying you can choose your family, you get to thrive with your family here at Dreamweavers Artist Ranch. It's a place for like-minded individuals to come together to share experiences and gain experiences, not only through workshops, through performances, and through exhibits. This is a place where you can disconnect from the outside world and reconnect into a community of people that there is no judgment. There's only support. And this place is an amazing place to grow and to tap into your highest potential and to be able to show off all your talents. This is a place you can come and network and really thrive. I'm so excited for Dreamweavers Artist Ranch. This is a place where dreams actually come true. I love you all so very much. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV. We're in conversation with Brandon Pena, founder and CEO of 787 Coffee. Brandon, you are part of the Forbes Council as well. What's all this? Tell us more about that.
Yes, super honored to be a part of Business Consoles. Forbes is such an amazing platform. Even when I didn't have the money to have a business, when I was working for someone, I remember working overtime just to try to afford my business subscription. So being able to collaborate in that business console. It's just a dream come true. It's unbelievable. It's priceless. What is it? It's a group of entrepreneurs from all over the world that are invited by Forbes to join. And how do they invite you? Based on profits, based on growth, based on the articles you've written or they've written about you. And when I got the invitation, it was 2020. It was really exciting, but we had just closed our coffee shops because of COVID. It was those 3 months that we were closed. And when I got the email with the invite and scheduled the phone call, I said, at this point, as much as I want to be a part of Forbes and it's like a dream come true, I don't think I'm ready. There's too many things going on. There's a thought process that I'm taking care more of our humans. So are we going to remain open? I can't really focus on writing articles and contributing anything. So I took that year, and then 2021, they sent another email. Can we get together? We just saw you were featured on Inc. and we want you to be a part of Forbes. I got on a phone call, and it's been an amazing journey. It's a responsibility. I do it primarily for my Latin community. There's not a lot of representation from business owners that speak Spanish, and I really want to represent that community and say, it doesn't matter if you have an accent. It doesn't matter if you're from this country or not from this country. You can still make it happen. You work ethically, you work hard, you're consistent, and like you said, you can lose anything. It doesn't matter. As long as you're consistent and you know where you're heading and you know your mission and your vision, then things will become a reality. It's just a matter of being there, being present. And it's Mark, it's unbelievable. All of a sudden you're giving tips to billionaires, and all of a sudden you're doing consulting work for people that you think you have nothing to teach them, and they appreciate you so much. I'm going to Guadalajara, Mexico on the 13th to do a consulting work with someone I've admired my whole life. And all of a sudden they reach out and they're like, we want to talk to you. Can you come for a day? And it's all because of all the connections you build through Forbes, and because of all the insights and all the articles and all the master classes they offer you, where there's 10, 20 humans connecting and giving advice on business, on entrepreneurship, on starting up, on how are you dealing with there's no labor willing to do this type of job. What do you do? There's a lawsuit. What do you do? And all of a sudden you have experts just giving you advice because they want you to do well.
It's an incredible achievement being associated with Forbes. One day I will get associated with Forbes as well. So congratulations on that. That brings me nicely to my next question, actually. You do a lot of social media marketing. I'm really passionate about digital media, public relations. I see you heavily use digital media and PR in your business. I don't think there's a day that goes by I don't see you featured in some kind of major publication, in any kind of articles, or being interviewed. So this is what I'm really passionate about. How important do you feel public relations and PR and digital media is for business owners and entrepreneurs to incorporate into their businesses?
Great question, Mark. I think it's very, 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 very important. I think storytelling is important. I think not just selling a product, but fixing a problem is important. It really doesn't matter if you do a really good job and no one knows you're doing a good job. It really doesn't matter if your coworker's doing or your employee's doing a great job and you don't tell him, her that she's doing a great job. We have to highlight things that are going well. It takes a lot of work. Like I told you earlier, for 39 years of my life, I didn't care about me being in front of the camera. I was focused on generating value for the people that I worked for, the people that hired me, the people that hired my services. I was a freelancer, I was a 1099 employee, and I never really cared for having a photo of me on any social media platform. All of a sudden, I realized I've worked all my life to make someone else do very well. And that's great because it gave me a lot of, I learned so much from it. But now, about 2 years ago, I said, I have a name, branded, which is a brand, which is branding, which is what I do. And you turn it on. So brand on. And it was my brother-in-law that brought it to me. He's like, you're always doing things for people. Well, when are you going to start having your own personal brand? And it's changed my mind, and it's changed my world, and it's changed the way we do business. We at 787 Coffee, we don't spend a lot of money in advertising. What we do is we take 10% of our sales and we reinvest it back in the community through neighbor discounts, and that's the word of mouth, and that's when they talk about what we do. But we also post everything on social media. Customers are constantly taking photos. We use those photos and we post them on social media as the stories on Instagram or on Facebook. For one, people are super excited that we share their content. Two, it connects us with them because now they're following us, we're following them, and it's part of the storytelling. Who comes to 787? And people like to go to places where your friends are going. So if
Yes.
we feature Mark on 787, more than likely your friends are going to be like, "That's a cool place to be because Mark was there." So then they come
Yes.
here. So by developing this strategy, the use of social media, we've been able to reach hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, we served over 500,000 customers just in New York City last year. And that's in big part because of social media.
It makes total sense, the strategy that you're using, and I agree, the power of social media. I think we have seen through the pandemic just how powerful online and social media can be, and I think it's got many people through the pandemic as well, having meetings on Zooms, etc., etc. It's really shown the power of online, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to be here to stay. So my next question, Brandon, can you share 3 of your biggest lessons learned as an entrepreneur?
Great. 3 lessons learned as an entrepreneur. One would be to do what you're really good at. So at 787 Coffee, we are a coffee shop. We are not a restaurant. We don't sell food. We don't sell sandwiches. We are not a restaurant. We are a coffee shop. We know
Yes.
coffee. We plant coffee. We learn coffee. We focus on coffee. I'm analyzing flavors of coffee every single day. We are trying to get better filters for water. We are trying to get better milks. We are trying to fix things around coffee. So focus and be obsessed with what you do. What is it that you're focused on? What is the product that you sell? At Los Tacos, we are a taco stand. We are a taco place. We're not a soup place. We are not a burrito place. We are not Asian and noodle place. We are tacos. So we focus on tacos. That's what we do. Brandon is branding. That's what I do. The humanization of a brand. It's through branding Brandon, right? That's what we do. So as an entrepreneur, do what you're very good at. And
I
then
like that one.
that would be the first one. Number 2 would be obsessed with your business. Be
Yes.
extremely obsessed. Don't there's nothing more important to me than my business. I was having a meeting right before you, and someone said, "I know you're busy. I don't want to bother you." And I had to stop that human and say, "You don't bother me. This is the dream of my life. I've worked so hard. I've been so obsessed for 14 years, learning coffee, I don't know anything yet, but I've been trying to learn coffee for 14 years. That's why I visited over 200 farms, and I visited over 1,000 coffee shops, and I've been through over 1,000 hours of coffee training, and I've met some of the world barista champions from Greece to Italy. It's my passion. You don't bother me. This is my job. This is what I love. This is what I dreamed of. Every time the door opens, every time there's a city regulator, it's part of the job. It is what it is. You can't expect to be president of the United States and don't get criticism. That's not part of the job. You can be
Definitely.
bothered by having a press asking you questions. That's part of the job. So be obsessed. Be obsessed with what you do. And then 3, work extremely, extremely hard. If you think you
Yes.
can go on vacations because you're an entrepreneur, you got it wrong. I have not been able to I took 10 days for my birthday to go to Africa, but I was on my phone literally the whole time. But I haven't taken vacations. Everywhere I go, it's because it's work related. I'm having meetings. If you work harder, if you don't work harder than everyone else, someone else will work harder than you. And it's something we analyzed, and Warren Buffett said it very well in one of his books. If you are not looking at your competitors and see if they open at 7 a.m., you want to open at 6:45 a.m. If they close at 5 p.m., you want to close at 5:15 p.m. So as an entrepreneur, work harder than everyone else. If you see that whomever you're competing with or whomever you aim to be is working 14 hours a day, then you should be working 15 hours a day. There's no 8 to 5 anymore. I really don't think that's the way we do business anymore. The people that I admire and respect are working non-stop. I go to dinners and we're working. I go to breakfast and we're working. I go to conferences and we're working. We go to seminars and we're working. We are connecting 24/7.
But when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like you're working because you're following your true passions and potentials. Now, I know that you're working on your book launch at the moment. Things I've learned whilst opening my first 15 coffee shops. Tell us a little bit about the book and when is it going to be available, Brandon?
Thank you, Mark. Yes, so book is coming, finally. 42 years of experiencing life and trying to open businesses and succeeding in some and not so well in others. Finally, it's happening. It should be launching. It should be out in 2 to 3 months. Why a book? I think it's time to share the knowledge that we've gained. It's been a very interesting journey. We've learned a lot. I wish someone would have told me how complicated and how wonderful and how beautiful and how many experiences I was going to have by opening coffee shops. So I'm sharing some of the best things I've learned through opening my first 15 coffee shops in New York City. And it's full of, from humanizing the brand, who do you hire, how do you spend time with your coworkers as you're growing, how do you remain local, how do you continue to be a part of a community, how do you continue to focus on quality, how do you continue to do things not focused on money. I'll give you an example. This past Christmas, 24th, 25th, we decided to close the whole operation to allow our coworkers to spend a caffeinated Christmas with their family, not serving coffee, but to be with family. So we closed the whole operation for 2 whole days, which is money. Ultimately, as an entrepreneur, you used to have to pay rent, you used to have to pay electricity, you used to have to pay salaries, but it's the right thing to do. So that's what the book has. What's the benefit of closing your business? Where are you investing every single one of your assets? And it's fun. It's fun because I hope the humans that actually read the book have a way smoother transition and journey through their entrepreneurial life.
I can imagine, Brandon, this book is going to be just incredible if you're a business owner, a startup, a small business owner, entrepreneur. You have so much wisdom and guidance and lessons learned, lessons that you've overcome. Just the fact of losing all your businesses and then scaling it up on such a big level, there's going to be great lessons there to help anyone to move forwards with their business or their entrepreneurship journey. Brandon, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today, and I just want to ask everyone, if you would like to connect with Brandon, you can follow Brandon on Instagram. Just go to @SoyBrandonIvan. That's @SoyBrandonIvan. Once more, follow on Instagram @SoyBrandonIvan. Brandon, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful 2022. Let's make shit happen.
Let's make it happen. Thank you everyone for watching Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now.